Welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show, hosted by Mason Kern. He keeps his nose to the ground to report on what's trending in professional and college sports, to inform, enlighten, and entertain. And now it's
the Sports Watchdog.
the Sports Watchdog, Mason Kern.
Hey there, everyone. You're listening to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 Phoenix. I'm your host, as always, Mason Kern, here with you every Sunday. And as always, I do have some great stuff in my kennel. Today, we're going to be having a very Olympic-heavy show for you today. First off, we're going to be hearing from Justin Gatlin, the world champion Olympic sprinter, gold medalist, beat Usain Bolt in the 2017 World Championships. Really excited to hear from him. And then we'll also be getting into an interview with Amber Neben, the Olympic cyclist. So lots of really cool stuff to get into today. And as always, I do have sports hot topics for you. And for you basketball specific fans, I have that interesting happenings on the Hardwood. Alright guys, so in sports hot topics this week, we're gonna make it really more about Major League Baseball, because I haven't really talked about the MLB in quite a while, and things have been relatively quiet, especially over the holiday season. I mean, Christmas Day was pretty quiet, not really much going on, but the MLB rumor mill is still definitely churning. The offseason's biggest free agents in Bryce Harper and Manny Machado still do remain on the market and are expected to sign pretty big deals at the beginning of the new year. Obviously, two of the game's kind of premier athletes and players at this point in time who have yet to sign a deal for this upcoming season. So definitely fans across baseball are wondering where those two are going to end up. And the winter meetings period has actually produced a handful of signings. So, I mean, the latest of which, just to kind of give you a big picture rundown, Patrick Corbin, who played for the Arizona Diamondbacks last year, almost threw a no-hitter, a lefty pitcher, really put on a pretty good performance, was in the Cy Young conversation for a little while at least. Well, he signed a 6-year, $140 million deal with the Washington Nationals. So Corbin leaves the Diamondbacks, going to Washington to play for the Nationals. Elsewhere around the league, the Yankees believe that they are still the favorites, according to Sports Illustrated, to land Manny Machado, obviously the superstar shortstop who went to the Los Angeles Dodgers last year midway through the season, came from the Baltimore Orioles. A lot of hype surrounding him and where he's going to end up. But the Yankees believe they are the favorite to land that caliber player. Right-handed pitcher Matt Shoemaker has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. Milwaukee Brewers are apparently in trade talks with the New York Yankees for starting pitcher Sonny Gray. The Angels are interested in free agent reliever David Robertson. Utility infielder Josh Harrison has interest from a slate of teams, including the Nationals, Cincinnati Reds, Texas Rangers, Yankees, and the Dodgers. The Cardinals are not in the market for free agent outfielder Bryce Harper, and the Red Sox and White Sox are interested in free agent reliever Adam Ottavino. And that's all coming from Sports Illustrated, but I mean, a lot of moves yet to be made in this MLB offseason. Once again, like I said, kind of the Christmas Day holiday season wasn't not too many stirrings, but nonetheless, definitely really exciting to see where some of these big name players end up. All right, everyone, don't go away. The Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 will be right back after this quick break.
If you're losing your hair or notice that it's getting thinner, listen closely. You can do something about it without messy lotions or drugs. Now you can get clinically proven hair growth results at home with the Hair Max Laser. Hair Max delivers nourishing laser light energy to stimulate hair growth right at the roots. It's FDA cleared, recommended by doctors, and best of all, it has an amazing 93% success rate in clinical studies in both men and women, so you can be sure it works. Use it just 3 times a week and experience new hair growth, increased density, and healthier, fuller, more attractive hair in just weeks with a 5-month money-back guarantee. Now, for a limited time, save 15% on your HairMax order at hairmax.com. Type in code RADIO at checkout or call 1-800-9REGROW. That's hairmax.com, code RADIO, or 1-800-9REGROW. Experience real hair growth and save 15% with HairMax.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060. I'm your host, Mason Kern, and joining us now is Justin Gatlin, the Olympic gold medalist and world champion sprinter. Justin's had a prolific career and has had a plethora of races with who some may claim is the fastest man of all time in Usain Bolt. But there's a lot of competition there with Gatlin in that picture as well. The most satisfying race of which came in Bolt's last race. Now, back in 2015, Bolt defeated Justin in the World Championships, but 2017 was a different story. At the IAAF World Championships in London, Justin defeated Bolt to claim the gold medal in the Jamaican's farewell race, to which he took bronze in. The satisfying victory was one that was extremely hard-fought and came through the best race of Justin's season that year. So Justin's here to share more info on his track career and competing against one of the best in Usain Bolt. So with that, hey, Justin, thanks for joining us on the Sports Watchdog Radio Show. So glad you could be here. Thanks for taking the time.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so once again, just really appreciate you being here. So first off, can you kind of just take me back to 2015? It's the World Championships, and you come up just short, 0.01 seconds in a defeat to Usain Bolt. How did that really make you feel, and did that kind of light a fire in looking toward the future of your career?
I trained really hard for 2015, because I wanted to be able to come through from the previous World Championships before 2015, and I wanted to be in the best shape of my life. So I trained extremely hard and to another level for the World Championships when I was going to race Usain Bolt in 15. And throughout that year, I ran a multitude of 9.7s, which was, only Usain has done that. So I was matching everything that he was doing. And got to the World Championships, and everybody was like, man, you got this in the bag. You're already running faster than he is this year. And I remember the gun going off, and I thought it was a cakewalk because I thought I did everything to get to that point, but I didn't seal the deal. So for me, it was a hard blow because I thought I was going to win. And it was probably one of the most embarrassing moments in my racing career because so many people were betting on me and counting on me, and my country was counting on me. So I had to recoup and regather myself for the next season to come back strong and better.
Right, yeah. So in kind of looking toward that next season in terms of the training and the preparation, and strategy too, how did all of that kind of change and your mentality as well as you kind of look to evolve after that moment?
Well, I definitely went into a rut because after crossing the line, I had to go do interviews, had to go do press conferences.
Right.
And this defeat that was on my head, and you have to sit next to your opponent, and you have to basically, give a detailed description of the race and how it unfolded. And so I remember getting in the car to go back to the hotel from the stadium, and I cried like a baby. That was my first time ever crying in a race because I knew that I let him win. I defeated myself, and in the process, he defeated me. I raced. I didn't compete. There's a difference. And going into 16, as I shrugged it off, I was like, all right, I got the blueprint. I know how to be able to be fast. I know how to run 9.7s consistently. It's going to be a great year. We're going to run even faster, be strong, and be ready in the Olympic year in 16. And around November, the end of 15, I rolled my ankle in a hole as we were jogging and warming up for our fall training, and almost to the point where I fractured it. So my Olympic campaign was already in jeopardy before the season could even start. So I was already just bummed, man, just so bummed that this is all happening to me. So I worked really hard. I rehabbed and I trained at the same time, which is very, very difficult, not only to your body, but your mental. Because, you're in the back of the pack. You're not running the times. Everyone's faster than you, and you're in pain at the same time. But for me, it was a moment of clarity because it showed how strong I was. It showed the fortitude that I had and how I wanted to push through it. And I got to the Olympics. I made the Olympic team. I won the Olympic trials, even with the bum ankle. And then I came back and got the silver, after all that. And then I just said, you know what, let's just get ready for 17. And 17, was a year of a comeback. Definitely. It was a different mindset.
Right, yeah. I mean, then, like you say, comeback kind of season for you in 2017. You make it again to the World Championships in 2017 in London, and you're once again racing against Usain Bolt. This time, though, different story than 2015. You finally beat your rival, but in that moment, not only were you greeted to the beginning of the race with boos from the fans, but once you won, there were also boos as well. So how did that kind of affect your momentum and kind of your comeback story and just that moment in general for you?
Well, I knew going into London, I was behind enemy lines. They considered Usain, that's his second home. He's a fair-haired child there, so they love him there. So I knew that they had the opportunity. They were so proud to be able to have his last race there in London. So they wanted everything to happen like a fairy tale. And I'm the kind of person, like, if I'm lining up to race you, I'm not going to give you a pass. We're coming to race. We're coming to battle, and that's what I'm going to give you. And he's the same way. He's not going to lay down for anybody. That's what makes us competitive. That's what makes our races legendary, because we are warriors. So going into the race, I was calm, man. He's never been beat in 100 meters in a world championship setting, when he arrived, became Usain Bolt. So I raced him a couple times out of the year in the past years, and I beat him, and we're going back and forth, but he's never been beat on this stage. So I wanted to seize the opportunity, and I just ran my own race. I competed this time. I didn't race. I didn't worry about Usain. I kind of went in there with the focus of kind of being more the dark horse instead of the guy who is, ready to battle against him shoulder to shoulder. So with that strategy of being the dark horse, it actually worked out very well for me. The tension was off of me and him. He was more focused on another runner, and I was able to come to the back door and get the job done.
Yeah, and I'm sure that must have been a pretty surreal moment for you, especially from being so kind of down after that 2015 performance, even though, again, only 0.01 seconds behind Bull in that race, and then the troubles and tribulations for you to kind of make another go at it in 2016, and then to finally be on top of the world in 2017. For that whole kind of sequence and change of events, what did it mean to you to finally kind of go at it and get the final reward and win?
It meant a lot to me because it shows my longevity of my fight, my will, my fortitude, and how I love racing and competing. The last world championship I won in 100 meters was like 2005. So you almost have over a decade between me running then to 2017. And, a sprinter's lifespan in career in track and field is only about maybe 6 years. So we're talking about, I ran multitude and many people's careers. I've seen a lot. So to be able to come back and do that, especially within his era and his time, and to step up and be able to get that win, not only for myself, but for my country, it was an amazing feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then now that you have the title, obviously so coveted, how do you plan on defending it?
Well, it's a new chapter now. Usain is retired. He's going on to a different sport. He's trying something else. I'm still here. I love where I'm at. Being back on top, being the throne. Also, I have a target on my back. And you got a lot of young athletes who are ready to run fast and have confidence now. And a lot of people question, like, well, who's going to step up? And they was wondering who was going to be the next while Usain was there. And I kept telling people, usually when a void opens up, that's when people gain the confidence to move into that space. So now you see a lot of athletes trying to run faster, trying to be stronger, be more competitive. So it's almost like a reset. Like now you get to see new characters, and I love it because I love new competition. I love racing against guys who are going to be, confident in their own race style too.
Right, yeah. And then obviously, as you mentioned, Usain off to play soccer now, and you, still here, like you said, the longevity of your career. definitely really kind of inspiring too, for sure. I mean, for up and coming, not only track and field athletes, but athletes in general, just that longevity. But what should we expect, and should fans expect from Justin Gatlin for this upcoming 2019 season?
Oh man, I'm really trying to be able to kind of do a mix of the different Justins throughout the year. So like the college Justin, who was just fearless and wanted to compete against everybody. You know, the early professional years where I just wanted to make a name for myself. I was hungry. And the Justin who came back and had a chip on his shoulder, and he wanted to prove to the world that he was the best. And then this Justin now, who is a wiser Justin, you know, knowing that it's not just a physical race, but a mental challenge too, and a mental battle. So I want to mix those athletes together and be able to bring a whole different athlete, a whole different look, you know, for these next couple of years. And I want to make history, man. I want to do something. Once I leave the sport, I want to be able to say, you know what, I was one of the greats.
Right, yeah, for sure. Well, Justin, definitely, we're all really excited to see how your 2019 season goes. Thank you so much again for taking the time. And where can our listeners go to connect with you or just to find more info?
I'm really heavy on my Instagram. You guys can hit me up at justingatlin.com, on Facebook as well. Starting to build a foundation, the Justin Gatlin Foundation as well. So hopefully I'll be in the community near you soon, helping out the youth and other people within the community are looking to better themselves in sports.
Well, definitely really cool. Thank you again, Justin, for your time. All right, everyone, the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 will be right back after this quick break.
If you have a lot of devices that are always power hungry, get the Charge Hub Power Station 360 Surge Protector Power Strip from LimitlessInnovations.com. It's the most efficient charging station on the market today. It features quick and convenient charging for up to 10 devices simultaneously. That's juice for 10 devices all at once. The Charge Hub 360 is also designed with a safety power surge to protect all gadgets and devices while providing optimal charge. Find it at LimitlessInnovations.com.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 Phoenix. I'm your host, Mason Kern, and joining us now is Amber Neben, the Olympian and world champion cyclist. Amber became a world champion in individual time trials in both 2008 and 2016. She's a 14-time USA World Championship team member, a 4-time winner of a version of the Women's Tour de France, and was a U.S. Pro National Champion in road race in 2003 and 2017, among other accolades. Amber is also the founder and president of the Dare to Be Project and is the author of the book When Schmack Happens. So Amber is here today to give us a close look at her cycling career as well as what else she's been up to. So with that, hey Amber, thanks for joining us on the Sports Watchdog Radio Show. So glad you could be here today.
Hey Mason, it's fun to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you again for taking the time. So first off, before I really get into anything else, how did you personally get into cycling in the first place? Kind of, how did that start out for you?
Yeah, it started out, I've always been an athlete. So as a little girl, I played every sport imaginable. I played tackle football with the boys, basketball, played a lot of soccer growing up. Eventually got into distance running. As a distance runner, ran really fast times in high school. They got me a college scholarship to the University of Nebraska. Unfortunately, I was always only potential as a distance runner. I just continued to get stress fracture after stress fracture and never really had a chance to pursue what was in my heart, and ended up letting go of the sport, surrendering the sport. I went to graduate school at UC Irvine, and it was while I was in graduate school, I was actually in a doctorate program, and I got into cycling, and I just started racing. And interestingly enough, I won races pretty quick. I had the engine, I had like all the pieces, the intangibles were there. And so I just started racing and winning, and eventually it took off and ended up transitioning full-time into road cycling in 2002. And from that point forward, it's just been a crazy, amazing ride.
Right, yeah, and I mean,
obviously, kind of with sports in general, I mean, those obstacles, injuries, I mean, like you say, with the distance running, I mean, injuries and obstacles do happen. So how are you kind of able to keep a mindset as you were looking to and you found cycling to kind of transition into that and then just kind of persevere and overcome kind of all the adversity that just comes along with playing sports in general?
Yeah, I love how sports is such a microcosm for life. I mean, we have a playground, a test ground to really develop all these necessities that we need to be successful in whatever we're doing. For me, my life has been sports, so I've really that ability to persevere has been developed through sport. And as a distance runner, really what began was something as simple as the idea of rejoicing in your suffering. Suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, character, hope. And as I remained thankful and joyful and saw God working in the midst of all of the struggles, like I was learning how to persevere and to not give up. And I kept my eyes on the big picture and continued to just move forward and do what I could do, focus on what I could and not what I couldn't. And it's been that way through cycling too, because cycling hasn't been an easy road. There's been numerous obstacles along the way with cycling in that entire pursuit. And so having learned how to persevere very early in my sports career, it's been just so instrumental in the success that I've had as a cyclist. So yeah, something that's super important.
Right, yeah, and I mean, especially for someone, I mean, who's made it to the highest level of their sport. I mean, obviously, like for you, national champion and in this sport of cycling. So with all of the success, is there like one moment or one race that kind of stands out to you in your own career?
That's such a good question. The moments that stand out the biggest to me are the highest highs and the lowest lows. I mean, the highest highs are easy. Think about winning the World Championship both times. The first time in 2008, the second time in 2016. I mean, it's just accumulation of all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes with people, with process, with not giving up, with not, just working through all kinds of different struggles and obstacles and just trusting God and working with Him through everything. And those highs are just incredible. To hear the national anthem playing while you're standing on the top step of the podium is just, it's something that you can't really put it into words until you're in that moment, because there's so much more to it than just what happened on that day. And then, I mean, the lowest of lows are just, I wrote a book called When Schmack Happens, and I kind of go through some of those. And one of the biggest was I had a really bad crash in 2013. And it was what I thought was going to be a career-ending injury, and it was miraculous that I walked away from it. But certainly, those are the places where you have the chance to choose, how you respond, and I think champions always respond, and in that moment and in that time afterwards, I had to choose to respond by, at first it was just breathing, and then it was walking, and then it was getting back on the bike, and then it was not being afraid to dream and go after big goals again. So I think those are the things that stand out the most.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's definitely really inspirational for sure in terms of, I mean, overcoming those obstacles, like I said earlier. And now for you at this kind of stage in your career, 43 years old, still cycling, why are you still kind of doing this? Is it just your love for the sport, that competitive edge, and then what are your goals kind of just down the road this season, next, for your future in cycling?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. I am still doing this because I know God's given me this amazing ability and this amazing opportunity, and He's put this in front of me, and I still can. The door's still open, and I have just this tremendous passion for what I'm doing. And it's crazy because I am 43, and looking ahead, I would be 45, in 2020, which is when the next Olympic Games are. So, I kind of have been at a crossroads the last year in trying to decide what I want to do, and in coming to terms with the idea of going all in for 2020. It's a huge risk, and it's something that's, there's no guarantees in it, but certainly I'm excited to go after it and to try. I think there's so much that is learned in trying, and I think a lot of times we set limits on ourselves that we shouldn't, and we shouldn't be afraid to try. And for me, from my side, I just have a clear vision of God's power and God's limitlessness. So for me, I'm focusing on that as opposed to my own limitations. And in the process of going forward with this, I think really cool things will happen. And, sometimes I ask people, or the way I describe it is when you think about, why do geese fly south? There's something in their heart that gets them going in the right direction, and for me, it's on my heart to go for it. And so I'm going to go after it. And whatever happens, I don't know at this point in time, but I know it'll get me moving in the right direction.
Well, definitely words from a true champion. Amber, thank you so much for taking the time. Where can our listeners go to connect with you, follow your journey to the 2020 Olympics, and just to connect with you as well?
Yeah, thanks. Amber Neben PX4 is my Instagram account, and then just Amber Neben on Twitter. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the Twitter stuff, Amber Neben PX4.
Well, there you go, guys. Make sure to go hit her up on the socials. Amber, thank you so much again for taking the time. All right, everyone, the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060. Will be right back after this.
For singers looking for a fun, all-in-one wireless karaoke mic with a built-in mixer speaker and its own light show, Voco Pro's pop-up Oki microphone is for you. It connects to a smartphone or tablet via Bluetooth and accesses YouTube and numerous karaoke apps for hours of entertainment. An onboard MP3 player allows singers to perform recorded MP3 tracks. Its multicolored LED light with on-off switch will automatically dance to the beat of the music, adding visual excitement to any karaoke session. Find it at vocopro.com.
You ready to hoop it up? This is Happenings on the Hardwood.
All right, guys, as always, at the end of the Sports Watchdog Radio Show here on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060 Phoenix. You know what time it is. We're pivoting on over to the Hardwood, talking some hoops talk, and this is obviously my favorite segment. As you all know, basketball is my favorite sport, and a lot of interesting stuff happening throughout the league this week. I'm going to start with the Lakers. LeBron James going down with a groin injury, apparently not too serious, but in the Lakers' Christmas Day rout of the Golden State Warriors, where they won by 26, LeBron went down with a groin injury, looked pretty serious. There were shots on the TV showing where he said he felt a pop. No one really knew how serious it was or how long he might be out. Well, Lakers are calling it day-to-day, but their first game without him, they lose by 1 to the Sacramento Kings on a Bogdanovich buzzer-beating three-pointer. Now, could LeBron have probably offset and maybe propel the Lakers to a victory? I mean, who knows? Kings are playing really well right now, but the Lakers, their young core really needs to prove themselves at this point. I mean, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Alonzo Ball, these young guys without LeBron really need to show that they can make some magic and get this team some wins. Now, Lakers are also without their other veteran presence in Rajon Rondo, who really helped propel the Lakers to that victory over Golden State, mainly because, once LeBron went down, the Lakers were winning by 14. Golden State kind of came back, but then the Lakers went on another rally, and Rajon Rondo really led that charge. Both scoring some and attacking the basket, hit a three-pointer. I think it was only his 10th of the season. They were disrespecting his shot, leaving him wide open. But when you look at it, the Lakers have a lot of talent and a lot of things can happen for this team without LeBron, should they choose to kind of fully embrace their potential. Now, elsewhere in the league, Enes Kanter getting into it with Giannis Antetokounmpo in the New York Knicks versus Milwaukee Bucks game. Kanter needed 3 stitches in his eye, and reporters were talking to him about it after the game, asked him what he felt about getting that second technical. He didn't even know he got one, which I find pretty funny. He didn't even know that he was actually ejected from the game because he was getting his eye tended to. But, pretty funny stuff there. Just a funny tidbit. Adam Silver, the league's commissioner, just this past week sent out a memo from the NBA reminding teams of the anti-tampering rules. This comes off LeBron's attempted possible recruiting pitch at Anthony Davis. And LeVar Ball had some interesting stuff to say about that. Now, I won't spend too much time on it, but he says, Lakers don't need Anthony Davis. They got too many people, is apparently what LeVar Ball said there. But lots of stuff going on around the NBA for sure. Definitely my favorite segment, like I said, you guys. And you can always come to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show to get the down low on all of your NBA news from me, the Sports Watchdog himself, Mason Kern. But I really appreciate you guys. Follow me on social media. Check us out. And stay tuned for some great stuff to come. Well, that's a wrap, everyone. Anybody wanting to connect with me, the Sports Watchdog, on Twitter can do so at @SportsWatchdog, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well at The Sports Watchdog. So until next time, keep your eye on the ball.
The Sports Watchdog. The Sports Watchdog, Mason Kern.